Been having some serious consultations here. And I'm going to try not to curse or swear because this probably is going to be a question out there many other people have. So we'll go ahead and make this public. And hopefully, if it doesn't offend the sensitivities of our always listening Google sensors, if it doesn't offend your feelings. Make me an offer for a consultation on the following situation and obviously keep me anonymous. Should I, 24, completely break contact with my parents or just cooling down the relationship in case I may need financial support? That's the number one problem, or the source of the number one problem for young people today when it comes to broken homes and dysfunctional families is you rely on their support either for free rent or finances, and you're not an independent man or woman. And then you have to suffer their abuse. I have seen this so much now, and it is tiring, where they're basically paying you to be their punching bag. And now, two sides to every story, I know, but even the literal things that they abuse me, they yell at me, da. And it's like, wow. And you know, a lot of moms, oh, if you paying the rent, you even rent, it's like, no. These problems go away when you don't need your parents. And then you're in the position of power to choose whether you want to hang out with them. It's very much like an abusive relationship where a woman is married to an abusive man. She's got kids, but she doesn't have a job. She needs him. And now she has no choice. Well, if you ended up having a job, and not choosing a better guy, by the way, then you can leave. You're 24. You should support yourself. Period. How many people? I'm independent. No, you're not. The vast majority of people under 30 are not independent. And not all, but a lot of these problems would go away if you didn't have to be there. Or should I pretend the past never happened to at least have an illusion of family? No, you always know otherwise. Backstory, parents divorced. My parents divorced when I was 3 years old. My father has beaten us, according to my mother, which was her reason for divorcing him. You would remember if your father beat you. I am questioning your mother. I'm not saying your dad's a saint. I'm not saying he probably didn't hit you a little bit too hard spanking-wise. I'm not saying he didn't yell at you or that was unfair. I'm just wondering if you were really beaten. Because your mother and father, neither of them are coming out looking like roses in this one. Despite that, she thought it'd be a good idea to make another child. My sister, well, there you go. Well, with him, I have reasons to believe that she got off the pill without telling him to get my sister. Well, it could be. It's moot. It happened in the past. Mother, low IQ, socially impaired. But we use the R word, but I really want to make sure this one gets out there. Hello, Google Sensors. Almost no friends, live 20 years on welfare. Right, I don't trust your mom. I don't trust your mom at all. Why'd your dad marry her? Speaking of choosing the right partners. She was depressive during my whole childhood, was anorexic for a couple of years, and mostly fed us garbage. She smoked during pregnancy and didn't care whether we brushed our teeth. Well, that takes effort. Raising kids takes effort. But to breed, she needs your children. She needs welfare too. I'm sure she got more money for you and your sister. Never teach me how to deal with people, which made me a friendless loser during my school time. Sad fact, when I confronted her about the smoking, she said that she did the same with my sister, which makes it fair. Hey, get rid of her. Just walk away. Already I could say just walk away. I have plenty of videos about blood not being thicker than water. This is a perfect example. I don't care if it's your mother. You never had a mother. I'm going to guess you never had a father here too, the more we find out about him. These people don't love you. They love themselves. They are parasites, and they abused you in one sense. I don't know if they physically abused you or not. Only you know that. And maybe you don't. I don't know. But I do know they've abused you by just basically having you as a kid because they either didn't want to use birth control, or they wanted a government check, or they simply wanted to have a kid but didn't want to invest the time to raise it. And all the pain you went through after their divorce and moving back and forth between like a ping pong ball, going to different schools, and your mom not doing anything, no investment, not even teach you how to brush your teeth. All that pain is their abuse. They have abused you in that way. These are not good people. Your mom especially. Okay, I will get to your dad here. But no, I I don't care if they're your parents. I know that you have a huge part of your biology, but they're my mom and my dad. These are vile, evil, disgusting people. And you have to love yourself first before you can engage in any kind of good, healthy, loving relationships with people, including people from your past, like your parents. This is what I really hate about abusive parents, in this sense of abuse of not being good parents, is they use biology to hold their kids hostage. It's just disgusting. Just disgusting. Father, high IQ, manipulative, can't admit errors on his side or plays them down if he does. Was flaky regarding visits when I was young. Makes lots of promises. He forgets shortly after. All right. Most of the time he was absent, partly due to court decisions. Well, why'd the court decide that? Look, I know there's a bias, but why couldn't your father visit you? Go get those records. See what happened. I bet you a lot comes out in those court. I mean, you find out affairs and all this other stuff going on. So I was 12. There was almost no contact. At that age, I learned that chain smoking in the house could F up my health. So I told him I would stop visiting him unless he quit smoking during our visits. Well, he chose the cigarettes. Well, there you go. I kind of hate my mother. I say you should. Just seeing her disgusts me, which is why I'm not. Sometimes I secretly hope she painfully dies of lung cancer for the bad childhood I had because of her. That's that's self-respect. That's great. That's a good sign. Now, I know a lot of therapists and other people. Oh, wait a minute. I don't have many negative feelings for my father, probably because of his absence. He kind of feels like a random stranger to me. I mean, the rational answer is probably I should have done so years ago. But even though I will never have a healthy family and nothing can make up for the past, I secretly hope they become good people. Well, you kind of hope that of everybody. But your mom is just a degenerate. I wouldn't even, listen to a lot of Stefan Molyneux about parenting and what he went through. But not until your parents apologize and admit what they did is wrong. A lot of them will try and pay. So, well, we did the best we could with what we had. No, no, who knows? And so, yeah, maybe you wish they do become good people, but they're probably likely not. That takes effort. To be a good person means you can't be lazy. My father sends me a message now and then asking how I'm doing, but they feel superficial after what happened. Sometimes I just ignore the messages. Sometimes I answer 2 or 3 sentences after a couple of days. I tried talking to him regarding my feelings in the past. Here comes the I don't want to take responsibility. Not you. This is where your dad dodges. I mean, he could never make up for it, but at least hope for a sincere apology. All I got was, that's too long ago. How about we forget that and have a fresh restart? Nope. No. He's still putting himself ahead of you. Now, I understand for survival purposes, you put number one first. But you children, oh my gosh, I hurt my kid. Son, what have I? Yeah, let's talk. I've looked. No, still a bad person. So you ask how to proceed with relationships with your parents. You don't. You don't. And, I always say this has to happen with every family because, your mom and your dad are always going to view you as the little child and try and control you a little bit. Maybe not necessarily for malicious purposes or controlling purposes, but they're afraid. Oh, it's our son. But I think a lot of people just got to put the parents on a timeout and go out and become your own man or woman so that when you come back, you can prove no. And the key thing is you can't be financially dependent on them. So this is moot and academic until you start supporting yourself there, son. How do I do that? Well, you work 2 jobs. You join the military. I don't know. I got a book called Worthless. I got another book called How Not to Become a Millennial. I guess maybe the best book would be Bachelor Pad Economics. Everything about budgeting and finance, especially when you're a young guy or gal. You don't have the money. But nobody, in your case, no, you don't. And I'm not a big believer in psychology. Matter of fact, I'm not a believer in psychology, but I am a believer in good therapists, having an independent third party talk to you. I would go find a therapist and have it be a male one. Don't get a female therapist. I know some good female therapists, but you need a guy. You need a guy. For every good female therapist I've heard of, I've known or seen or heard of like 10. I mean, you're talking less than 10%. And I got a guy. If you want me to, I could send him, but he's in a different country. But who cares? You know, if you can pay him, he'll help you out best he can. But given what you've been through, yeah, man, you should probably talk that through with a therapist. So there you guys go. All right. We got any super chats? No super chats. That's it. Questions, answers. aholeconsulting.com. Check out some of those books. You guys have got to get financially free of your parents. It makes things a lot easier. It's in those books. We'll see you guys later. Toodles.